Let's see. Here we go. Okay, Shabbat Shalom, pretty princess. New game. Let me explain how all the mechanics work. I'm just gonna make a throwaway character. And then I'll make a pyromancer and show you how it works. Pretty much what I do is I always pick... You generally pick the master key 9 times out of 10. Because it's just the best one. Because it unlocks certain doors and certain things to where you don't have to go find the key or buy the key or whatever for a lot of different locked things. So most people pick the master key. The face doesn't really, like, none of the customization stuff really matters except your class and gift. Everything else is just, you know, whatever. You can make some crazy nonsense though. Of course, this game is like 13 years old now. Some of the things kind of haven't aged super well, but that's okay. Okay, I'll just start with this so I can explain some of the mechanics. Skip! The Dark Sun Gwendolyn is the only remaining deity. Skip! Okay. So, starting as a knight is good to explain the mechanics because there are some important things like weight. If you see, my roll is kind of slow. This is a medium roll. And then, if I take off all my stuff, see my roll is much better. So this is a fast roll or a light roll. And then again, if I put all my armor back on, it's a mid roll again. Pick up the key. But that's why a lot of times you see people running around naked when they play Dark Souls. What are some things to explain? Because this game doesn't really tell you shit. It's kind of funny. Okay, so let's start with some of how the weapons work. You can see the attack type, regular and thrust. Like the physical damage, that's kind of self-explanatory. And then you have the 3 elemental damage types, magic, fire, and lightning. And then when you see required parameter, that's like the strength, dex, intelligence, and faith that you need to equip things and to use them effectively. Otherwise, it reduces your damage. For parameter bonus, on the left side, it says E. So it scales E with strength and E with dexterity. And scaling goes from like no scaling at all to E scaling all the way up to S scaling. That's the best scaling. So this weapon, it has a low base damage of 20 and it barely scales with your stats at all. So the straight sword hilt is, you know, obviously it sucks. It's literally as strong as just hitting them with your fist. So yeah, you don't want to do that. So you want to find a weapon that has good scaling with whatever stat you want, like strength or dexterity or intelligence or faith. And then for the asylum demon here, this is what I like to do. Obviously, I don't want to sit here and bore you for 20 minutes while I punch him to death, but yeah, this is pretty much what you do. You just get right in his ass crack, and you literally cannot do anything. And also, I wanted to show you something, because dodging gives you iframes. See, when you dodge, it gives you iframes, and you don't take damage if you dodge at the right time. See that? So you can dodge right through attacks and not get hit. See that? So if you get good at dodging, you can't really get hit. Yeah. So rather than boring you with, you know, punching him to death, because I mean I've done it before many times, because it's silly. It takes like literally 20 minutes to punch him to death, but it's kind of funny. You actually get his hammer if you punch him to death. So, okay, let me tell you more about shields. So, the most important thing you're going to want for a shield is that it blocks 100% of physical damage. If you look at the damage reduction percentage on the right, like in the middle on the right, damage reduction percentage, you see physical 100. That's one of the most important things you're going to want for a shield is 100% damage reduction. And you see it as magic 30, fire 70, lightning 50. Okay, so what stability on a shield does is that reduces the amount of stamina damage you take when you block. So the higher stability your shield, the less stamina you lose when you block attacks. And a shield is really important, and let me show you more about the iframes again. I'm gonna roll through the arrow just to show you again that you do get invincibility when you roll. Of course you have to time it correctly. But, like, let me show you. See, it goes right through your body, and you don't take damage. And then the next enemy up ahead is going to have a broken sword, so I can show you, give you a little tutorial on how parrying works. And I'm an idiot. I got hit by that anyway. Hurry up and give me my juice. Hurry up. Hurry up. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, bye. Get good. Okay, so how parrying works after that horrible display of violence. Okay, so when you parry, pretty much anything that's around your size or a little bit bigger, you can parry. If they're like up to like 7 or 8 feet tall, you can probably parry them. So what you're going to want to do is press parry when you see their arm coming towards you. Like this. Let me show you. See, look, it's when his arm comes towards you. See that? So press it as it comes towards you. And then you press R1 and that's a critical attack. You parry and riposte. So you parry as their arm comes towards you, and then R1 to riposte. And then you can do the same thing with a backstab if you get behind them. Let me show you with this next guy. See, so there's a backstab, and while you're in the animation, you can see that you don't take damage. You have invincibility frames when you're in Dark Souls 1 and 3, not in 2. You have invincibility frames when you're in a riposte or backstab animation. So let me show you it again. And ripostes do more damage than backstab because of course they're harder because you have to time it. And then he gets wrecked. And then I'm going to give you some very minor spoilers to the stuff that's right outside the tutorial, like at the beginning. And then you can, you know, plunge attack him like that, and then run behind him immediately after. Because again, that's the strategy. You get behind him, you can't do anything. And he's dead. And of course, if you haven't figured it out yet, your souls are that's your money, and that's also your, that's your money and your experience points to level up. So you kind of have to choose whether you want to level up or buy something, or, and of course, you know, when you die, you drop all the souls on the ground, you have to pick them back up again. Which isn't really that relevant in the tutorial, because you can't level up or spend them on anything yet. But of course it's relevant later. Yep. And then so I'm going to tell you a bit more. Actually, I'm going to start over as a pyromancer just to show you how that kind of works and what you should kind of do. New game. Gonna name my character Pyro Princess, Pyromancer. Also, I would recommend trying Cleric, because Cleric starts you out with a healing miracle, and you know that could be useful. So Pyromancer, and then I'm gonna pick Master Key, Average, Commoner, I guess Bun. Red, because that's the best color. Make the eyes blue, because of course, and then that, and then close enough. And Pyromancer, the hand axe is actually a really good starting weapon. The worst part about Pyromancer is that your shield sucks ass, because of course it's literally just a rickety plank thing. So again, gonna go through here. Also, that's the stray demon. Spoiler alert, you can return to the asylum later and you fight him. And he drops an upgrade material, that's very important. Spoiler. So yeah, you just continue as normal. And I don't have to take off my armor this time, because I have a light roll automatically. Okay, let me also explain how that works. Where is it? View stats. You can see, you see in the middle HP, stamina, and equip load. The equip load, if you're underneath 25%, you get a light roll. If you're above 25%, you get a mid roll. And if you're above 50%, you get a fat roll. And then I believe if you're above 100%, you can't roll anymore. So 25%, 50%. So you're gonna generally want to stick underneath 25%. So again, yeah. So let me light this, and then get this shitty shield I'm not gonna use. Roll through the arrow. Fist him. Pick up my hand axe. Also, when you press triangle to two hands, of course, you know, it gives you a different moveset, like. And also, when you two-hand your weapon, it multiplies your strength by 1.5. So right now, I have 12 strength, and so that would give me an extra 6 strength. So I would have 18 strength if I two-hand. It doesn't show up on the stat, on the strength when you're two-handing, but it like, what's it called? It applies it in the background, and you'll see you have a higher attack number. Give me my Estus Flask. Hurry up. Thank you. Hurry up. Hurry up. Hurry up. Hurry up. Thank you. Okay. And also you can parry with just your fist. By the way, you can do that too. And then Pyromancy Flame. So how spells work is you, of course, on the left side, you have your attunement slots. And of course, Pyromancer starts with Fireball attuned, and of course it has 8 casts. You probably figured that out, but I'm not sure. And of course your casts refill every time you rest at a bonfire. And the more attunement slots you have, like attunement 12, so that means I have 2 slots, because 10 attunement gives you 1 slot, 12 attunement gives you 2, and so on. And of course, you need more and more levels to get more and more slots. Like the first few attunement slots have a much lower requirement, of course, and it gets diminishing returns as you keep leveling it up to get more slots. In Dark Souls 2, attunement also boosts your casting speed. In Dark Souls 1 and 3, dexterity boosts your casting speed, which doesn't make any sense at all, personally. I think that's kind of stupid. I like how Dark Souls 2 does it better. Let me kill this nerd. And then... And also, so if you couldn't figure it out, if you flick the stick forward and press R1, that's a kick, and that does a lot of stamina damage to enemies that block with shields. So you can break their guard and then hit them after. And then if you flick the stick and press R2, that's a jumping attack, and it does more damage. But obviously it's slow and leaves you exposed, so you have to be careful. And so I'm going to do a jumping attack. And it just gets a little bit of extra damage out of the plunge. And he's dead. I'm going to show you what I would do. Like what I would think is the best thing to do for a new player. Skip. Skip. Okay, rest of the bonfire. And another thing I'm going to show you is what kindling is. You notice how the bonfire at the asylum, you get 5 Estus flasks. But the bonfire here at Firelink Shrine, you get 10 Estus flasks. You see that? So you have 10 flasks. And then I can pick up these humanity here. And also I would recommend that you buy a healing miracle from this asshole right here. So just talk to him. He gives you the coin. Keep talking to him. And then you say yes. And you join his stupid ass covenant, which no one ever plays with. It's useless. It's not useless, but it's useless.
No.
And then I would recommend buy heal for 4,000 right there. Or you could start as a cleric. So what you could do is you could also start as a sorcerer if you want to be a heretic. But something red hair, something witchcraft, something. What was I saying? So yeah, if you want to be a caster, of course those are the 3 casting classes: are sorcerer, pyromancer, and cleric. And sorcerer, your stuff scales with intelligence. Cleric, so yeah, follow this little path here, and you can find some goodies. They're hidden if you drop down the elevator shaft right here. So you drop down in here, and there's some goodies, but there's some dangerous enemies. So run back afterwards after you pick this up. Homeward Bones, they let you go back to the previous bonfire you rested at. And then the Morning Star, that's good because it does strike damage and inflicts bleed. So it's, you know, it's kind of slow. But yeah, everything in Dark Souls 1 is kind of slow, and 2. But again, Dark Souls 1 and 2 are more slow and methodical. Dark Souls 3 is kind of fast-paced and all over the place, and Elden Ring is like too fast. Also, the texture on this rock is a little bit stretched and weird right here, but that's not the point. So I'm gonna run and pick up some items over here in this graveyard, and it's dangerous, so I don't really recommend you do this unless you like dying. Ah! Run when I'm holding down the button, please. Run, woman! Thank you. I am pushing the stick forward. I expect you to sprint, woman. Okay, thank you. So just go back to the bonfire. Don't try to fight the skeleton. So what I picked up was the winged spear. I can't use it yet, but you know, this is a lets you get a spear at the beginning if you want, just in case you wanted that. Or the Sveihander. This is a big boy sword. You know, it's a big two-hander. I can't even swing that, so don't have the stats for it. I don't have the stats for this either, because this takes 24 strength, and of course I have 12 strength. And again, when I two-hand, I have 18 strength, but that's still not 24. I need 16 strength to two-hand this. So, just for sake of showing you how this works. Oh, I don't have enough. Let me... Also, I'm missing the dexterity. Okay, let me pick up some soul items around the area, so I can just so you can get a... like see how this kind of works. Let's see. Yeah, there's some stairs up here. Yeah. This is the So yeah, do not go to the graveyard unless you like dying, because that's like you're supposed to go there later. But the game doesn't tell you that, and a lot of new players go to the graveyard, and the game is clearly too hard because you're not supposed to go there yet. And then they think that the game is like way too tough, and when you're supposed to go the other direction. But I'm gonna pick up these items here, these soul items. Arch soul of a lost undead, that's worth 400. Ow. He has a bone to pick with me, and I don't like that. He's very rude. Here we go. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna level up. Use 2 of these. Use another 2 of these. I'm gonna get to 16 strength and 10 dexterity. Oh, still don't have enough. But oh yeah. Also in the level up screen, if you look, you see attunement slots. I have 2 attunement slots. Also, the pyromancer starts with 10 intelligence, so you can use magic as a pyromancer right at the start, because you have 10 intelligence. But this is the direction you're supposed to head, is up these cliffs here, by the way. Oh, yes, poise. That's it. Okay, now this is enough. I want to show you the Zweihander, because it's a neat. Well, it's not a little weapon. I was gonna say it's a neat little weapon, but it's huge. 10 dexterity. So if you look at my stats here, you see R weapon 1 near the middle. R weapon 1. That's 93. You see when I wield it with both hands, it goes up to 104. And then with the Zweihander, you see I have 25 because I can't wield it with one hand. And then when I two-hand it, it's 169. So of course, you know, this is much longer than the hand axe, but it's slower. Kind of. But it stuns enemies really well, as an example. And you can squish people like a pancake. So it kills them in one hit, and if I get the hand axe, see, it takes 2 hits for me to kill him. So yeah, it's much stronger. And it's, you know, ow. Stop it. And then I'm going to show you a few other things at the beginning that'll be very helpful. Of course, you know, minor spoilers. And he dropped the humanity very first try. Wow. That was really lucky, considering I have no item discovery right now. So let me show you kind of where I would recommend going first. Is go here to the Undead Berg. You see, there you go. You can dodge right through things. Again, a reminder. Jump across here, and you can grab a humanity, I believe. Let me also equip that. Ow. Good trade. Gulp. What is he doing? He's running into the thing. Ow! Okay. Let me light this bonfire and show you one of the mechanics. So the game never tells you how to do this, by the way. So let me show you an example. If I drink all my flasks, you remember earlier how I mentioned that the bonfire at Firelink Shrine gives you 10 Estus? This one gives you 5 Estus. So if I use a humanity, what this lets me do is reverse hollowing. And you can offer humanity and reverse hollowing, and you click yes, of course. And you're not bacon anymore. You're now kosher. You're not bacon anymore. So now you look kind of normal. And then what this allows you to do, if you're in human form, that allows you, if you had PlayStation Plus, you could summon other players and like we could play together, for example. And then the other thing humanity allows you to do, because what it does is it opens you up to multiplayer, where other people can invade your world, and you can summon in cooperators to help you. And if you're in human form and you rest at a bonfire, click Kindle. And what this does, you offer humanity and kindle the flame, you hit yes. And look at my Estus Flask. See, it goes from 5 to 10. You see that? It goes from 5 to 10. So that's a little trick to get more Estus Flasks if you're like in a hard area and you need a bit more. And then what I can do is, you know, if I jump off and kill myself, and he jumped off too. So yeah, if I jump off and kill myself, look what happens. I'm a zombie again. And then here's my bloodstain, where you see it drops all the souls I had when I died. So I pick my souls back up. And if I had any humanity in the top left corner, because again, I have 0 humanity because I used it to kindle the bonfire and reverse hollowing. So if I pop another one, just as an example, and reverse hollowing, let me show you how this works. I'm not gonna actually like summon anybody, but I'm gonna I want to see if there's anyone putting down their summon sign for cooperation. I'm not gonna summon them. I just want to show you what it looks like, because this is just a demonstration. And someone also might invade me, and that'll be another player trying to kill me. But what I wanted to show you is there's a merchant in here that sells good stuff early on that you definitely want to go talk to. You know, roll through these boxes here. And then you go right over here, and then there's a merchant.
Well now, I trade.
Wait, okay. Let's do that again.
Well now, you seem to have your wits about you, hmm? Then you are a welcome customer. I trade for souls.
Everything's for sale. He makes me laugh. He's silly. And what I would definitely recommend is, look at some of his weapons he has for sale. He has a bow, spear, different clubs, different swords you can try out. I would recommend definitely buying the heater shield and the buckler.
Thank you,
Because you see this, the cracked round shield, I would only block 65 physical damage. The heater shield, it blocks 100%. It's like one of the lightest, it probably is the lightest shield that's 100 physical block. Well now, you seem to have your wits about you, then you are welcome. Perfect enough. I trade for souls. Everything's for sale. I almost skipped his dialogue. And I was like, oh, here, this is a summon sign. See that? So that's another player that put down a sign, and I can summon them into my world to cooperate with them. And then they help me kill the boss of the area. And then, do I have any? Okay, yeah. Let me see. And then, and there's a ridiculous, hilarious glitch that they put in the well, they didn't put it in the remaster, but it wasn't in the original Dark Souls 1. But I probably shouldn't even be showing you this because you're a new player, so you don't need to see this. But whatever, it doesn't matter. So I'm not going to tell you the steps, so you can't repeat this. I forget the steps, so it doesn't matter. Oh, there's a Gravelord servant. So I'm gonna invade their world as a demonstration. Oh, I'm invading their world, so I'm gonna die, and I know I'm gonna die because this is a new character, and I'm invading a Gravelord servant. So this is like what the online is like. When I buy you PlayStation Plus. Oh, hello. Oh, they're having a fight club. Oh, cool. Hey. And I have unupgraded weapons, and this is a fresh character, so I'm totally gonna die. Oh, he parried him. What are they doing? Oh, they're a pyromancer too. Look at that. I'm just here to show you what the online is like. I'm not actually really gonna fight. Oh! Another one! Spirit of Vengeance, your mom's car has invaded. What? I'm low-key kind of rooting for the host to win. Because we're all spirits, and that person that looks normal is the host. Spirit of Vengeance, biggest dickus has invaded. Uh-oh. Why are they naked? I'm gonna go up there too. He's naked. Why are they fiery for no reason? No! Target destroyed. Gravelord servant defeated. No, I must simp. No, I'm kidding. Rest in pizza. More summon signs. So that was a bit of a taste of the online. And then what other things? Oh yeah, another thing. If you kill this merchant, if you want to, you don't have to. But if you kill him, he drops a weapon, just as a demonstration.
I'll teach you, you lousy rat. Yulia! Yulia!
Yulia! I actually do not know his attacks, because he has unique animations. I never fight him.
Why me? Little Yulia.
So he drops the key, he drops the humanity, the dried finger, the orange soapstone, and the Uchigatana. So for all the weeaboos out there, this is what he drops. Samurai! No, I'm not gonna use. I can't use that because it takes 14 decks, and I don't have that. So back to the hand decks, and then let me go back to the other character for a second to show you something else. Let's see. Okay, here we go. So there's a stat that armor has called poise. Also, this is a fat roll. When you're like over 50%, this is what this looks like. So again, the fat roll, and then mid roll, and then light roll. Fat roll, mid roll, light roll. And so let me show you what poise does. So if I go naked and let him hit me, first let me kill him so that there's only one. Come on. If I let him hit me, ow. See, look at that, how I get stunned when he hits me. If I put my armor on, look at what happens. See how I can get hit without getting stunned? See that? That's poise. So yeah, heavier armor can actually be really useful because it can stop you from getting stunned. See? But of course you're slow as shit. And you see I can't rest at the bonfire when there's an enemy nearby. So gotta kill him. Is all of this making sense? At least a little bit? And then, I guess I'll show you Sorcerer and Cleric just so you can see the other casters. Because all the melee classes are kind of similar. Start as the sauce, and then red, of course. These are throwaway characters, I don't need to customize them that much. And then, so I named her Stoned because I'm starting as a sorcerer, so she's gonna get stoned to death, either by weed or by actually getting rocks thrown at her, because burn her! Burn the witch! Well, I'm glad this is helpful so far, cutie. So, I just want to show you, if you start with the Master Key, I want to show you where you can get a guy that can teach you a few extra sorceries at the beginning. Also, the Sorcerer has some drip, though, I will say. I like the hat. And, of course, you have a light roll. But you have, you know, very low vitality, so you have, like, some of the lowest HP. But you start with 15 attunement. You see how your physical stats kind of suck. Like, vitality, endurance, strength, dex are kind of low. But you have high intelligence and high attunement. So you have a lot of spell slots and a lot of intelligence for, you know, sorcery scale with intelligence. So I don't feel like punching him to death right now. Because he drops you his hammer. He drops you his hammer if you punch him to death. Or use, like if you beat him that first encounter, he drops his hammer. Which is a strength weapon. Small leather shield. Got the nipple shield here. Dodge roll. Oh yeah, you start with a dagger. Yeah. Which it's good for backstabs and ripostes because it has a high critical modifier. I'll show you that in a second. Stab him right up his ass. And then like if you see critical, like you see how the straight sword hilt has a critical of 100 there on the left side, but dagger has a critical of 131, so it gives you a bonus if you parry and riposte or backstab. And Dark Souls is super complicated, as you can tell, and the game doesn't tell you shit. So This would be really tough to figure all this out on your own without looking it up or having me just tell you how it works.
Regrettably, but
Skip. She's beautiful. So let me give you an example. Like if I parry this guy and I do 175 on a parry and riposte, and then here's my sorcerer's catalyst. So I'm gonna equip that, and then soul arrow. And I'll show you how the attunement works in just a minute when I get out of the asylum. Actually, so I did 175 on the backstab, on the riposte. Okay, no. So it's 175 on a riposte and 139 on a backstab. And then if I just hit him with a normal attack, let me show you. It does 16. So yeah, this is a weapon for backstabbing and ripostes. It's not really, you don't really hit them with it. And then, so let me just cheese this nerd real quick. Same strategy as always. Run behind him after you get the plunging attack. And you just soul arrow him up the ass. So my strategy is stick like right between his butt cheeks, like in the little more tan section. You know, he's kind of green. The little tan section in the middle. And he's dead. I hate the victory achieved message. In the original Dark Souls 1, when you killed the boss, it says you defeated, which is way better than victory achieved. You defeated. It's glorious. And they had to change it because they're stupid. Can't believe them. Okay, skip. Yep. And then if you, like I mentioned before, if you start with the master key, I don't know what gift you started with, but if you start with the master key, you can go down these stairs. And then there's some stuff down here. Like, well, also you can just come down here even without the master key. It's just that there's a gate that's locked that you can't get through. But if you ever want to start as a sorcerer, this is a good thing to do, is go down these stairs instead of going to the undead bird. Because there's a merchant down here. And this area is very dangerous. So you don't want to actually try to go through the area. I'll keep the elevator at the bottom. Also, a lot of times it's good to send the elevator back up in case you die, so you don't have to wait for it to go back up. That's a tip. That saves a lot of time. Send the elevator back up. So you get a soul of a nameless soldier. That's worth 800 souls. And then, so if you want to do a sorcerer start, or like, you could start as a pyromancer and then come down here and this guy sells you some stuff. He's like a magic blacksmith. And then you just talk to him here. And then, so he's a blacksmith. I don't have any upgrade materials because of course I just started. But you can repair stuff, upgrade your armor, upgrade your weapons, modify your equipment. Like you can I could make my dagger scale with intelligence and deal magic damage, for example. And then he sells soul arrow, heavy soul arrow, and a sorcerer's catalyst. So let's say you started with a pyromancer, right? And remember, you have 2 attunement slots as a pyromancer. So you could come down here, buy a Sorcerer's Catalyst and Soul Arrow, and have, like, you could have Soul Arrow and the Fireball. But of course, the Sorcerer's Catalyst only casts sorcery. It doesn't cast pyromancy or miracles. So you have your sorcery casting tools, your miracle casting tools, and your pyromancy casting tools. So your pyromancy flame, obviously that's for pyromancy. And then your sorcerer staff things and staves and stuff, that's for sorceries, obviously. And then talismans are for miracles. So if I go to the description, it says sorcery catalyst used by sorcerers of the Venheim Dragon School. Equip catalyst to use sorceries. Attune sorceries from a scroll at a bonfire. Most sorceries have a limited number of uses. And then you can pick up an S-Stock, which is a thrusting sword. And I can't wield it, but this is what it looks like. She can't even one-hand it. Weak. Okay, but if I two-hand it, I can. That's crazy. I've never actually seen the you can't use a thrusting sword with one hand animation. I've never seen that animation before. And this game is like 13 years old now, something like that. I've never seen the animation where you couldn't use the S-Stock with one hand. That's nuts. So, you can technically go through this area, but I would absolutely recommend you don't. Okay, here's why. This is why you shouldn't actually go through the area. Watch. But also there's something you can pick up here if you want to do a suicide run. Like spend your souls before you go down here. Look at this. There's some ghosty goos up ahead, and watch what happens. Look at this. Yeah. Ow. Ow! Stop it! So you can run over here and then pick this up. Firekeeper soul, and then jump off. So that's a really useful item, and let me show you what that does in just a second. So what you can do is you can take that to this nice lady right here that she can't talk because her tongue was cut out or something like that. No response, she cannot speak. Reinforce Estus Flask, you use that Firekeeper soul, because she's also a Firekeeper. That doesn't make sense to you yet, but it's like lore in the game. So you give her that Firekeeper soul, and now it says Estus Flask +1. So now I have a +1 Estus, so it restores more HP when I drink it. And then let me show you the Pyromancer again, and then I'll show you the Cleric. And then, let's see. So let me show you this real quick. So, let me see. I'm going to go back to Firelink Shrine. Ow. And always remember, you have invincibility when you roll. Remember. Always remember that. See? I'm just going to go back down to Firelink Shrine. And yeah, because I did pick the Master Key as my gift. Ow. Don't roll off. Yeah, gravity is, which is fake, by the way. It is the biggest killer in these games, is falling off ledges and stuff. That's like the main way I die, is falling off shit. Remember to press parry right as their arm comes towards you. Well, that's how it works for Dark Souls 1. The other games have a bit of different timing, but in Dark Souls 1 it works. But yeah, it's as the arm comes towards you. Oh, I missed it. Don't throw that at me. Sir. Hollow Soldier Waistcloth. Now I'm a real barbarian. Also, when you parry, you have to be like right next to them for it to work. If you just parry the tip of their weapon, it doesn't work. You have to be like right in their face for it to work. So get like right next to them when you do it. Do it with my fist, just to show you. Ow. That hurt. That's rude. I like my insides to stay my insides, thank you. So let me show you what I wanted to show you a minute ago. To get my shield back out. I don't need it because I'm not going to fight anything. But, rest at the Firelink bonfire again. So now this is my checkpoint when I die. And then... And of course, again, if you go up these stairs... And then go right here... This guy is the early miracle teacher, is this guy right up here. He's an asshole, by the way, spoiler. And then, yeah. So let me show you what I was talking about that you could do. And let me equip a homeward bone. Just to make it simpler. And then let's go back down here to New Londo. I'm going to send the elevator back up just to show you that that's a good habit to have, and always make sure that you check so you don't walk into the hole by accident, because then you'll die. So never walk into the elevator shaft hole, always check. Disasters are gone after the defeat of the Gravelord Servant. So this is the Valley of Drakes. I use the Master Key as the starting gift to open this up. You don't want to come here, it's dangerous, because you're new. So, but people that know what they're doing, they go through there, because it's faster. And yeah, so again I can just for demonstration purposes. Okay, almost have enough, but not quite. How many souls do these guys drop? Because I have 2,435. Let me see. Hit him, you idiot. Ow. Die. Okay, I just need to kill a few of these then. So... there we go. And then, so I have 2,500. So let me show you what I wanted to talk about next. Again, it has to do with casting. So I talked to the magic blacksmith guy, by soul arrow, and a sorcerer catalyst.
Come back soon.
So again, this will help me show you a bit more about attunement and make it make more sense. Because like I mentioned before, Pyromancer starts with the stats to use Soul Arrow. So you can immediately be a mage if you want to as well. So you see, if I go to Attune Magic, I have Fireball, and then I have 2 slots, remember? 2 slots. So I can put Soul Arrow in my second slot. So I have 8 Fireballs and 30 Soul Arrows. Now watch this. So I have a Sorcerer's Catalyst and a Pyromancy Flame. See, I can swap between them. I can do Fireball, and then Soul Arrow. And Fireball, and then Soul Arrow. And Fireball, 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 and then Soul Arrow, Soul Arrow, Soul Arrow, Soul Arrow, Fireball. So I would definitely recommend you go down that elevator and buy that from him. Because, you know, extra casts definitely can't hurt you. And this has longer range than the Fireball. And more casts. You can, you know, definitely do that if you want. Because again, your starting class doesn't determine what you can do. It just like, it's like a starting point. Because if we go here, Soul Arrow, see it takes 10 intelligence to use it. And Pyromancer starts with 10 intelligence. So you can use Soul Arrow and Pyromancy right at the start. So yeah, I would definitely recommend go down the elevator, talk to him, buy that. Buy the Catalyst and buy Soul Arrow. And then let me show you Cleric, and then that's kind of, that's plenty for now. So you have a good grasp of how things work. And then, new game. Deus Volt. Let me see. Ah. Female, cleric. Also, deprived is like a meme class where you start out with a plank shield, you're naked, and a club. It's kind of silly. Thief starts out with Master Key at like default, so you don't have to pick it as a gift if you start as Thief. So let's pick Cleric, Master Key, and then skip. Let's do the tutorial one more time. There's also something I want you to learn about shields real quick while we're going through this tutorial one more time. it'll be helpful for you. Light the bonfire, even though that doesn't matter, this is a throwaway character. He's waiting up at the top, right at the top if you look closely, and then he drops down. Neat little detail. Come here, light the bonfire. You're gonna feel much more confident once you learn this. So, although this shield doesn't have 100 physical block, it's still... All you do is sing, 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 but you never listen. Can you hear me? Get your ass back in the field and make me some heal. Don't test me, Nick, don't test me, Nick. My whip hand is strong, my plantation is big, so big. If you want your meal, get back in the field. You're hungry. Don't test me, Nick, don't test me, Nick, don't test me, Nick. Do not test me, Nick. I will use my whip. I will slave the ship. I will bust the ship. Talk back one more time, just one more time, and there will be a whip on your spine. Don't test me, Nick, don't test me, Nick. Don't test me, Nick. Do not test me, Nick. I will use my whip. I will slave the ship. I will bust your shit. So stupid. That is so funny. I'm so mad it got taken down. That was my jam. Okay, and then so here we go. We're gonna pick up the talisman. So the talisman is what lets us cast miracles. Canvas talisman. Oh. Ow. Ow. Yeah, the mace is really slow. Kind of slow, you know. Go. Oh, I should have. You know what? Let me let him hit me so I can show you how the miracle works. I'm gonna take off my armor so it's faster. He does more damage. Come on. Actually, I'm just gonna let this next guy do it. Come on. Do the thing. Ow. Okay, now it's time for you to die. Thank you. So this is how the miracle works. So I have 5 casts of heal. See, it's kind of slow. So, you know, it's best to do it after you killed whatever you're fighting. You know, because it's slow, it's best, like, you know, you don't do it in combat, because, you know, you're going to get hit again. So kill whatever you're fighting, then cast it, is what I would recommend. So those are miracles, and there are a few, like, offensive ones, like Lightning Spear. And also, you see how much damage the plunging attack does to him with the mace. And the mace is really good against the skeletons in the graveyard, because it does strike damage. And you can look at the damage type, it says attack type strike. So yeah, that's how... And I forgot to show you the thing about shields. I'm an idiot. But what I was going to say is don't be afraid to block bosses. Even if they're huge, you can block them with your shield. And again, you're going to want a shield that has 100 physical block if you can. That's the most important stat on a shield is the physical block being 100. The second most important thing is the stability, so that you Because, you know, if the physical block isn't 100%, you're going to take chip damage every time you block, you know? And then the stability is the other important thing. Because, again, that determines, see, the stability is 44. It's lower than the shield that the knight starts with. So you lose more stamina when you block. Like, let me just show you this real quick, and then that's kind of enough for right now, because that was like a lot of information I just gave. And of course, you have the link to the stream. You can go watch it again if you want. So like, let me show you. Also, your stamina regenerates slower while you're holding your shield up. Like, let me show you. Like, I'm out of stamina, and you see how slowly it regenerates when I have my shield up? Look how slow that is. And then, if I use up all my stamina, if I'm not blocking, you see how fast it goes up? And then, if I'm blocking, again, it goes up really slow. So lower your shield if they're not actually attacking you, to make your stamina regenerate faster. And again, if I let him throw a firebomb at me, let me show you. Ow. Let me get back to full health so I can show you this, and then this is pretty much, let's see. You see how it does chip damage, like through the block? If I try to block the firebomb? Because shields generally don't block very much elemental damage. There's certain shields that are good for blocking fire or magic or lightning, like specific elements, but in general, shields do best against physical damage, which is why you want one with 100 physical defense. I hope that made sense. So if you can, try to dodge through elemental attacks rather than blocking them, because you'll get that chip damage. Because this shield has 88 physical, 40 magic, 30 fire, 65 lightning. So even though it doesn't block 100%, it still has the highest physical block is still its highest stat, even though it's not 100. And that's because it's a wooden shield. You generally want a metal shield if you're gonna block. If you want 100 physical block. So no one really uses wooden shields except for like looks, because they look cool. But anyone that's actually using a shield to block with, they use metal shields, which kind of bothers me because metal shields aren't really historical except for like bucklers, and those are small. They aren't like big, but that's just me nitpicking stuff because, you know, nerdy about this sort of thing. But yeah, so that's kind of an introduction to what you can. Oh yeah. And again, if you want to do the miracle stuff, it also starts you out in his covenant already if you choose cleric or knight. He gives you the coin.
That's good.
See, he doesn't ask you to join the covenant. Oh wait, oh here he does. It does. It says already belongs to this covenant.
No.
So then you can learn his gesture, shrug. So so you click the touchpad and that opens the gesture menu. So you can wave or beckon or point down when you kill someone in PvP and you're salty. Or if you're about to duel someone, you know, you bow. Just, you know, good etiquette. And then shrug. And then prayer. Something like that. So you get different gestures when you talk to different NPCs. They'll give you their gesture. So yeah, I would recommend, if you want to, you could also buy, you know, a copy of Heal. It's expensive at 4,000, but you know, that's extra heals that you can cast. So you'd have to put some points in attunement until you have extra slots. And yeah, so that was a lot of information. And if you need me to repeat anything, obviously you can send me a message. But thank you for watching my stream, you pretty princess.